let's get to the Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers, sir. We'll dance around this one before we kind of preview it. But let's say this is the let's start with your favorite moments, because we come from a little bit different eras of our Georgia fandom. They start in different years. So just kind of curious, I have my list at least, just kind of somewhere throughout here. But what's the first what's the first Georgia Auburn moment that comes to mind for you?
I think my favorite Georgia Auburn game of all time is the 2017 SEC championship, of course.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite moment from that game, people always talk about the Swift run, and that was a cool play, and it sealed it. But my favorite play from that game is the Terry Godwin octopus, where they just threw him 2 straight goal line fades, and he just sunned the guy both times. And when he caught it, he screamed at him. It was like, you can't guard me, whatever.
And I do remember him talking a lot.
I think that just sums up the ethos of this rivalry really well. And it was two big plays and a big moment. And I thought it was sick. I mean, Terry Godwin, super slept on player. That was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this game. Like we're just winning these one-on-ones. We're screaming at them and they can't guard us after, because they can't.
Did that make it 14-7? Or was that to take the lead?
It made it 21-7. So I was go up 2 scores. It was in the fourth quarter, and they literally maybe I'm sure that there's more. The 2 plays are more different than I'm remembering, but if I remember, it's like they just threw him 2 fades, 1-on-1, and he just snatched them both.
That is how I remember it too, right in the front corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact play. I also remember there was a terrible a phantom offensive PI call we had in that game at one point. I think they called it on Godwin, or we had a touchdown. They took off.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that made it even better.
I think the biggest play of that game was Davin Bellamy's the strip fumble, because Auburn scored on that first possession. I mean, and they also blasted Georgia in that first game, and they scored on that first possession. It looked like that may have been the second possession. It was still early. They were ready to go up 14-0. And then that strip sack, forced fumble that really changed the game. And then I want to say it was Daquan Hawkins Muckle. It's a random name drop. I'm pretty sure he's the one that blocked the field goal in that game.
I think it was Daquan Hawkins Muckle, and Sanders recovered it. Yeah, and then also the exclamation point.
He caught it in the air, and then the whole sideline went nuts. I remember my Florida buddy that texted me, he was like, that was so badass. Right when that happened, it was like, if he's excited about it, I'm juiced.
And then I remember, didn't Roquan Smith sack Stidham right on the SEC logo? I remember that being a big play.
Yeah, threw him to the ground violently.
Those are the kinds of plays that are that's what this rivalry should be. Not saying Georgia needs to dominate the whole time. I just mean the physicality and the meanness. That's the best part about the Deep South of this rivalry.
For sure. And he had the fumble recovery too. Kerryon Johnson got injured in the Alabama game, so he's trying to play with it. But yeah, that DeAndre Swift moment though, it was that Keely Ringo moment that was just we did it. It's been a while. It's been 12 years at that point since Georgia won the SEC championship. And also at that point too, that was the biggest win of my Georgia fandom at that point in 2017, because that's the first time that Georgia's ever won the SEC. And then you're going on to potentially play for a national championship. In 2002, 2005, that didn't happen. So this was the first time, oh, wow, we're going to the semifinals and we could win a national championship. So to that point, that was just such a huge one. Obviously, I think the biggest moment and maybe all of the Georgia, in terms of just the game-winning touchdown, the Michael Johnson in 2002 on the 4th and 1, or it's either 4th and 1 or 4th and 10. I can't remember. And went deep. Yeah, it's very different, but it didn't matter because they went for 30 or whatever it was. The sneaky ones to me, the 2006 upset at Auburn. Georgia goes into that game 6-4. Auburn's ranked number 5, 9-1, and Stafford just absolutely balled. and showed what the future of Matthew Stafford was right then. That's really like his first, I feel like, great game in college. And they just absolutely blasted Auburn, and Trey Battle had 3 picks with a pick 6, and pretty sure Brandon Cox completed as many passes to Georgia as he did to Auburn that day.
Brandon Cox did that a lot. He threw a lot of picks to Georgia.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Is he their all-time leading passer? He's like up there, I think.
I mean, he was like a 3-4 year starter. Probably was. He's probably up there.
Yeah, I was at the 2016 upset in Sanford Stadium, year 1 of Kirby Smart. So that one was great.
Oh, Smith.
Auburn. Yeah, another one where Auburn scored on the first possession of the game and then never scored again. But I have one for you right here. What were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna bring up. I didn't. Maybe this is what you're gonna say. I was gonna bring up the Todd Gurley kickoff return.
Yes. So this is what I was gonna say. The 2014 Auburn game, I think, is the most bittersweet Georgia football game of all time.
All time, easily.
But I want to know what direction are you going with? Because I might not be going the same direction as you.
I was just thinking about for Todd. I mean, Todd was like my dude growing up. I was an 11-year-old kid. I remember where I was when I found out that he got suspended. My week was ruined. My month was ruined. And
I remember where I was as well.
Against Auburn, first time he touched the ball. I know it didn't count. It got called back. But seeing him score literally the first time he touched the ball, and then Georgia just beats the brakes off of Auburn. It's his great game. And then at the end, Todd Gurley tears his ACL. And we kind of have to live with the fact that obviously Todd Gurley did go on to do great things in the NFL, but knee problems are what did him in when he was still in his 20s. And with, the arthritis and everything. And I think I'm not a doctor, but I think it's widely believed that his knee problem started there, which it's a torn ACL. So just for Gurley and how Gurley's pro career ultimately ended before it should have, I think that's a pretty bittersweet one for me.
See, and that's a great call, man. That opening kickoff was just like legendary stuff. Like the first time he touches it, like this guy's been suspended 4 games for some stuff that's not even illegal anymore. And especially AJ Green at the 4-game suspension too. Like I don't think Georgia loses to. They at least lost to Florida. That was the what was that quarterback? Man, I totally blanking on the.
They lost to Tech that year.
They lost to Tech, Florida, and South Carolina.
Yeah.
But the Florida one was when why am I blanking? I'm usually able to pull this name. The quarterback for Florida went like 2 for 4. Like he didn't. It was their backup quarterback. He was a dual threat dude, and he threw it like 5 times. And Florida had like 400 yards rushing. It was insane. Like they had I think legit. It was Taylor and the dude that played for the Redskins, Matt Jones.
Oh, dude, it was Treon Harris.
Treon Harris. Yes. What were his numbers in that game?
It was 3 for 6 for 27 yards.
It just makes no sense.
Florida, this is such an aside because we're supposed to be talking about Auburn, but Florida ran the ball 60 times for 418 yards and 5 touchdowns.
That's how I'm Kelvin Taylor and Matt Jones. Like, did they almost both go for 200 or something?
Yes, they both. Taylor had 197 yards, 2 tuds. Jones had 192 yards, 2 tuds. Both on 25 carries. That is the craziest. That's actually insane.
It made no sense. That 2014 team was pretty good, and that Auburn game was like a week later, or 2 weeks later, and they just smash Auburn. Like I think Auburn was a good team that year. I think they dropped like 40 or something against Alabama, and Georgia beat them 34-7. But that's the most bittersweet game, in my opinion, the 2014 game, because I think the greatest college football running back duo that never was Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb. And that's like the only game we ever got to see. These dudes combined for 334 total yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. Like Chubb was 19 for 144 and 2 touchdowns. Gurley was 29 for 138. The only other one that was like even similar was the first game of the season, because Chubb was in with some garbage time. But in that opener versus Clemson, they combined for 268 and 4 touchdowns between the two of them. But yeah, I just feel like Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb, like you look at the stats and you're like, damn, Georgia had a year where they had a 1,500-yard rusher, and you're like, yeah, the other guy should have been the Heisman Trophy winner, like who had like 900 and something yards in like 5 games or 6 games, however many he played that year. It's the weirdest thing. If you look at a team that has like a 1,500-yard rusher and a basically 1,000-yard rusher, and they were just never really a duo. Like we never got to see them like at the same time. So that's why the 2014 Auburn game is bittersweet to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Gurley and Chubb eventually went on to become, each of them or was arguably the best running back on earth at one point. So the fact that they're on the same team, I feel like we can never overstate how insane that really was.
Yeah, you said you were an 11-year-old. I was a 24-year-old man, and I felt the same way about Todd Gurley that you did. So